Hey, great day, guys. I hope each and every one of you are doing well. My name is Nathan Gibson. I'm the director and lead trader here at the Twn Academy. And today, what I want to do is simply break down a couple of markets that I'll be looking at during the week. I had a really good week last week, and I caught some moves off of GU and also GJ and UJ. However, this week, I'll be looking at a couple different things, so I wanted to break down those for you. So let's jump right into it. What we'll first begin with is the DXY. Now, the reason we want to look at the DXY is because the dollar index dictates what happens with USD pairs. And so to get a good grasp of what's going to happen on something, say like GU, we want to understand what's happening with the DXY. Now, just very basic, the DXY in layman's terms always moves opposite to GBP USD. All right. So if we can correctly identify what could potentially happen with the DXY, it's going to give us a good idea of what GU is going to do this week. So as always, what I like to do is start with a naked chart, and we can see since about March, the DXY has been pushing down, obviously COVID related stuff, and different other things in the market. So the market has continued to be making lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and has, sort of found a range in this little area here. So let's go down to the 4-hour to get a better grasp of what's happening, and let's sort of bring some analysis into the picture. So before I put back on my fibs, I'll just remove that for now. What we had is price pushing down into around July. Price finally broke that COVID low and formed new lower highs and new lower lows at around, it broke that $94 dollar mark and pushed down to about all the way down to the $92 at one point, or 92 points, however you want to call it, or percentages. So price would have found that range and has been in that range for a couple of months now, and so we've been able to get some good moves. And notice that we are here on the daily, on the 4-hour. So these are big moves that we're looking at now. Just to try to understand what's been happening on a big picture, price would have pushed down here, formed this low, pushed back up. We're ranging, and notice that all the time price was still forming lower lows, lower highs. This is a low, it pushed down, came down here, it formed a lower low, lower high. It seemed as if, after it hit this potential support zone, it was going to push back up, but no, it then came right down and formed a lower low, right? And so if we look at it back on the daily, what we can see is that price would have been coming down, it's been going down, and what we have forming is a double bottom on the daily in this little area here, so we had a double bottom forming on the daily, which is a good indication, that price was exhausted. It's now ready to begin to buy again, and all we needed now was for price to basically break structure. And so this key area here is very important, because this is really going to determine for me what happens with the DXY. If price holds above this area, this little structure area that you can see here, where the previous, which was the beginning of the last sell push, if it holds below there, the DXY I expect to continue to sell. However, my bias currently is that price will continue to push higher. As you can see, this initial move would have pushed above that area. And now what I believe is happening is you're just getting the retest, and then price is going to continue to push up. And the way I like to sort of measure or predict what could potentially happen is with my Fibonacci. What you'll see when I pull my fibs from the low to the high, and I do my fibs specifically based on how I trade. I teach all of that stuff in my academy. But what you can see here, we're going to come down to the 4-hour, but on the daily, we would have had price pushing up to around that 93.50 area, and then now price has came back and held by a 38% Fibonacci retracement area. And just let me show change my fib settings so that they do show up on the smaller time frames, 1 hour. And so what we get here now, you can see prices holding by this particular area here now, the 38%. And I do think, you know, price would have touched that, the 0%, pushed up, touched it again, retested to the 38. And now I believe that based on these two touches, this is the double bottom that potentially then guides the push up. And the push up I expect into the minus 27 area around here. So around that 9400 zone. So for me, my bias right now is that I expect price to continue to push up. However, at any point you can react, and if price does stay below here, well, I would expect it probably to look to begin to push further down, right? But as of right now, my bias would be this. So up to that over the course of the next week, 2 weeks. However, so based on that, at this moment, I am looking to continue to sell GU. What we had starting again on the higher time frames, you can see GU would have had a big bearish engulfing candle on the weekly after about a 4 or 5 month rally. And so the market is the bears are starting to come back and fight back. And what you would have seen was this sell would have broken structure right here, and then price probably came up to retest, as you can see here. All right, and now I fully believe that, you know, price continues to sell in accordance with the DXY beginning to bite. And so what would I be potentially looking at during this week? Well, during last week, after that big push the week before, what we had was price given a bit of a retracement. The buyers came back into the market, but notice that they failed to break structure. So this would have been the structure area here, where you can see I have my fibs drawn from this 100% area here, and you can see that price came all the way back up. Let me just make this a bit better for you. What you can see is price came all the way back up to the 88% and formed what looks like a double top, a AH4 double top, and now price is beginning to sell. All right, so it would have been, I'm already in this move. I would have given up the position because I don't trade over the weekend, but early into next week I'll be looking to take back up that position because I fully believe the market is ready to sell. You had a false breakout here with news on Thursday, but I do believe that we could potentially be looking at about a 50 pip drop down to this QP on GU. All right, but what we will do is see how price reacts at this zone. I believe it should break this zone, maybe give you a retest and continue to sell. But at any time we're reactive, so if we see price maybe come here from the bottom, push back up above this QP, well, you know, we could be looking at price continuing to buy again. Anything can happen, but as I said, for now, my bias would be that I will be looking for price to continue to sell. So that is DXY and GU. EN, I would have caught a couple of moves, a couple of pips on this last week. But for me, my bias on this is still very much looking for the market to continue to sell. When you see it on the weekly, you were having this bearish rally, and then you had the engulfing, the evening star pattern, and you know, it seems as if price probably looking to continue to buy right to where price would have started to continue to sell right from where price would have started to buy from. And so basically what I am looking at on that is we had this push down here from about the 180 area, and it's pushed down. It gave us a 38% pullback, and now I'm looking for the extension after this pullback all the way down to the minus 61. Right now, price is by a very interesting area. Is by a QP. And so once this QP is broken, what we could expect to happen is probably price to sell almost probably all the way down to this next potential QP. But my take profit would be anywhere in this area right here. So I'll decide on if I want to get in on that. Not too fancy on it. So I may leave out EN this week. But yeah, that's just what I'm thinking on that. So I'll be looking for that to continue to sell. But as always, we could have, price beginning to possibly buy back from this QP area back up into this region. It all depends. We'll see. It's not a pair that I probably will be in too much this week. EJ is very interesting at the moment. I believe EJ, I am overall bearish on EJ. So we had price having this big rally as well up, and then we had this massive, we had the evening star, and then this massive sell candle. I would have caught about 120 pips on this move last week. And now what I believe is happening is you're simply seeing price push up, possibly to give you the retest, maybe to this 61. That's what I'm looking at primarily. This is what I will be looking at primarily. Possibly a 61% retracement based off of this move. But I could see price maybe giving you a 70, 78 or a 88% retracement. But once it does not break structure in this region around here, I would still very much be looking to continue to sell. So this is an opportunity that I may be looking to get into this week. If you want to follow me a bit more, what you can do is follow me on Instagram. All of those links will be in the description at the bottom. I'll put the link for my private Telegram community as well too, that you can maybe get a bit more insight and follow me during the week if you want to potentially take those trades with me. But this is a trade that I'll possibly be looking to take this week. So a possible short position once I see price forms some sort of double top. But I do believe you may be getting some buy-in first. So I wouldn't be rushing it too much. I'll put the specifics of the trade a bit later. But for now, something along these lines once price pulls back, So yeah, I'll determine exactly where I want to get into a bit later. And lastly, just GJ. GJ, I would have caught a good set of pips off of this as well, over 100. And I expect GJ to continue to sell. That's my bias at the moment. But because price is by a QP, a quarter point, and these are very interesting areas. So what was happening with GJ was that you saw on the weekly, you had this massive sell, this bearish engulfing, and on the daily, you can see price actually broke structure and retested. And so you expect GJ to continue to sell. Over the course of last week, you had a bit of consolidation as the buyers tried to come back into the market, but with no great success. And then we had this fake out of the news where price would have pushed back up. And so now what I do expect is that market continues to sell. But I do believe that the GJ and EJ pairs may be looking to give you a potential buy a bit this week. So I'm not too keen on heading into GJ at the moment because I would more be looking for some sort of retest of this potential structure zone, and then maybe a push down into the 61. All right. So again, that isn't one that I'm too keen on at the moment. But my overall bias would be that I would continue to buy it to sell this. I would only be thinking about a potential buy should price form some sort of double bottom down here and then pushes back up above this area right here that I have. And that is when I would be looking for a buy on this potential move. Other than that, I would very much still be, looking to continue to sell this. But you can have some sort of pullback during the course of the week, so I would expect that. All right, guys. So this was it for my weekly output. I hope this was beneficial to you. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, and I'll post all of my additional information at the bottom of the group. If you want to, maybe learn a bit more, as I said in these videos, I simply go over the basics. Feel free to come and check out my academy, the Twn Academy. When you come to the website, there is a free preview course. So you simply click enroll now, and you can get a great idea of what we do here in the academy. You can check out the courses that we potentially do, all of those things. So if you want to know a bit more about the academy, head over to the Twn Academy, www.twn/academy.com. Sign up for our free course. Go through that. It's only about an hour and a half of content. And you'll get to see what we're all about. All right, guys. Until next time, have a great one.